Hi, my name is Valentin Zubiri. I'm an artist, writer, futurist, very important, psychic healer, very important too. It doesn't always work, but it's much more important than futurist. I make porcelain dolls with the backdrops, and I'm looking forward to the backdrops because they can be in the metaverse. Now, here's something else too. I'm not alone in this, okay? Because I have other people waiting for me to make some progress, and they want to collaborate with me. Okay, so just letting you know that. I so in 2012 I wrote Doll Man the Musical, a memoir of an artist as doll maker. In 2014 I re-released that together with three more memoirs. One Our Mentors, one their Hocus Pocus Lately, and the Hocus Pocus Lately has the stories related to futurist and psychic healing. Okay? And in 2018 I released Valsuber Agenda, which I co-wrote with Salvador, who's also an artist, and I now call everything here as Valsuber Agenda. Okay. Now, I'm basically telling you my qualifications, so you'll listen to me a little bit more. And the reason is we're going to try to raise billions and billions and billions of dollars with this idea. Okay, and hopefully it helps the institutions that we're into, the cryptocurrencies and cryptocurrency exchange and NFTs and NFT exchange, right? So hopefully all this helps out, okay, and helps out as fast as possible. So that's why I'm telling you all this, right? I'm claiming to be the current living contemporary artist who's personally written the most artist memoirs in the world. Now, I'm saying personally because in the publishing industry, you can use ghostwriters and you can write 1% and then have the rest to be written by your co-author. And it's kind of different from art. When it comes to art, you have to come up with your own art, right? But when it comes to with collaborators, if it's possible. But with regards to publishing, you can like just leave everything to somebody else. Yeah. Okay, now I will have 5 more memoirs over the next 3 years, and I'll keep writing memoirs together with biographies, art books, and art catalogs. Okay, now what I just told you is part 1 of what I call hashtag Valsuber Agenda. Okay, there's 3 parts, and I feel like I'm speaking with no script, right? And this is the Thanksgiving weekend. We're winding down. This is Sunday, and I feel it's important to give out this presentation right now to you and everyone else. Hopefully, it goes viral. And the reason is it's Thanksgiving weekend. We're looking for something to thank for, right? And if this goes worldwide, then and this works and it trends, then that's good news. And hopefully, everyone all over the world, celebrates Thanksgiving. Just like the United States. So we'll have a 4-day weekend because hopefully we save our economies, right, and our businesses. Okay, so. That's why I find it important to share this with you, and please bear with me. I'll be talking about a lot of things in here, and hopefully it affects your business in a good way. Get your pen, paper, and calculator. Now, if you cannot afford me, we'll find out a way for you to do this, to do this with me. But for now, right now, I find it urgent to be able to help the cryptocurrency exchanges and other businesses that can afford this right now. So. Especially the ones who might, like all of a sudden declare bankruptcy. There's no, if you find no other solution, and you've been trying to find ways to raise money and you can't, this is probably something you can use. Okay. Okay. So what's the hashtag Valsuber Agenda that I'm going to be discussing here? There's 3 parts. The first part is we publish our books. We artists can publish our books, our memoirs, biographies, art books, and art catalogs. Now, the second part is we artists can, art's not regulated, and so we artists can, go from $1 to $1 million for our art piece, right? And you can only do that with art. See, so if you're into raising billions of dollars, then use art. But for now, use me because I want to be the go-to person right now. It takes a while to do other things, right? To for example, write memoirs, right? even if you make a decision right now to write a memoir, try writing it now. Okay? It's gonna take a while. Okay, this is why I did my homework, and I've done 5 memoirs, and over the next 3 years I'll come up with 5 more, and then I'll keep writing. And the reason is, I've been preparing for this just so I can present myself to you right now. Okay, and it's taken me decades. Okay, this is really worth it. Okay, now so part 2 is we make announcement of our prices, and for example, I can go from $1 to $1 million overnight, right? But we'll make it a little more realistic, right? So I'll discuss it in a bit. And the third is we artists who make tangible art can become NFTs, and for the convenience of everyone, so everyone gets to trade us, we become our own storage space, our own warehouse, our own vaults, so that our art pieces remain brand new, unscratched, unsmudged, and no grimy hands held them, and no piece got broken off or no piece got lost. See? So we maintain our own storage, our own warehouse, our own vaults, so that everyone is assured that they can continue to trade tangible art without having to worry about reshipping, repackaging, packaging, shipping, insurance, whatever, blah blah blah, right? So insurance, storage, and like other things we'll discuss later, right? As they come up, we'll discuss it much later, right? So, but right now, I feel like this is a solution for everybody. Okay, so let me start with what happened to me in the 1990s, and it's related to pension, so that's why it's important. And then we'll proceed to now. We're gonna go back to the future, which is now. Okay, way back in the 90s, I started having art shows, and I was thinking, hey, you know what? I probably should be famous, and the way I can, like if I'm selling my art, I think it would be nice for people to line up, to be in a queue and like reserve my art sight unseen and yet to be made art, right? And I had to be worthy of that in order for me to stabilize myself as an artist. Otherwise, I'd continue to work, right? Doing my 9-to-5 job. Now, my 9-to-5 job is I was an assistant actuary, and so I was working for a pension fund, and I was going to school for higher courses in mathematics, master's degree and doctorate level degree math, and I passed the first actuarial career exam, and it's a series of exams all the way to being a fellow, and aside from that, I had art shows, like I told you. I was in theater. I was writing a column for a free paper in Chicago, and I was writing about the arts. And I got on TV and radio and print. I was featured for my artistic statement, which has something to do with AIDS awareness. So all these things were happening, right? And I was telling myself, how can I get how can I get famous? Because by my standards, I wasn't famous. I was just getting my baptism of the media, right? So I started reading nonfiction books like leadership, business leadership, economics, finance, persuasion, sales, marketing, advertising, and then writing, right? And the funny thing was there was this tip that just kept appearing in a lot of the books, and the tip was, if you want to advance in your field, you write a book about the field. And so I was like, hey, what can I write, right? The best books I can come up with, I came to the conclusion I can write memoirs, biographies, art books, and art catalogs, because it's important that we have catalogs, comprehensive catalogs, so that we can prove that our art is our art. And the book said that they have to be books. They have to be book form, book length, because books are forever, and that's how we humans perceive it, as opposed to pamphlets and brochures. Pamphlets and brochures wouldn't last 500 years, but books will last 500 years, together with our art. And so now here's something else. I was friends with the elected official, the treasurer of the $1 billion pension fund that I was working for, and every once in a while I go visit and we talk about pension. And one day he knew, my friend knew everything that I was doing outside of pension, my art and my theater and writing and all that. And he said, "Val, if you're really smart, why don't you come up with a way to raise $10 billion for the pension fund?" And it's $1 billion pension fund, right? And so 2 weeks later, I came up with an idea and discussed it with him. He stood up and he goes like, "Oh my God, this can work." And so I'll tell you my idea, right? I said I'm writing a memoir, and the importance of a memoir is that it's gonna last 500 years together with my art. And I said we are in pension, and we use actual tables, which are forecast numbers of life and death, etc. And the thing with the actual tables is that they were approved from the top down, right? And they're guesses, but they're not random guesses. There's different types of guesses. Okay, there's random guesses, and then there's educated guesses, scientific guesses, mathematical guesses, right? And so we have smart guesses that go beyond random guesses, right? So I said, I'm following my own version of my actual table. I have a forecast of my prices, so I have my current price all the way to my future price, and my future price is $200 million per piece. And to support that, I'm writing a memoir. Now, here's something before I proceed, right? There's 3 schools of thought when it comes to acquiring art. There's collecting, investing, and trading. Okay, collecting is when you buy art, you keep it forever, and that's exactly what galleries are promoting. And then investing in art is when you buy art, you keep it for 10, 20 years, and then you reassess if the art piece went up in value. Usually that's done by huge corporations with huge buildings with a lot of walls and spaces. They will make decisions to buy, what art they think would be investable. And then, and that's how they are maintained. They have buildings that can maintain investment art, right? And in trading art is what's happening right now with NFTs. And with NFTs, you can buy art right now and put a price on it, and hopefully it sells, right, as soon as possible, right? And so there's a disconnect between the 3 schools of thought, but there's still a connection between investment and investing in art and trading art. But with regards to galleries and making sure selling art that for collectors, there's a disconnect. Okay, so I'll tell you more about that in a bit. Okay, but so I told my friend, I have a current price and I have future price. My current price, a reasonable price, if I'm going to make you $10 billion, is $50,000 per art piece. And I said, my goal is $200 million per art piece. So if you get 200 works from me, and I explained to him the permanence and importance of writing book-length memoirs, right? And I said, and eventually I'll have the collection will be in art catalogs, right? And that's another book or another series of books. And I said, get 200 works from me at $50,000 each, my reasonable current price for making you $10 billion, right? And it's going to cost you $10 million, okay? And then I said, you bring that contract with me, with all the elements put in there. It's an art receivable contract, right? With the valuation of $200 million per art piece times 200 works equals $40 billion. Bring it to your financial institution that you've been working with for the last 100 years and ask for a loan. And there's a chance they'll give you 25% of that valuation, which is $10 billion. And then I said, I just made you $10 billion. And he stood up, going like, oh my God, this can work. And, considering, pension funds reinvest their works, their money, or invest their money to with other things in the they would give them to hedge funds or like construction companies who need money, right? Especially those construction companies that do infrastructure for the county or for the city or the state, right? And so that's how they make money, right? But with regards to this idea, which is what I call now the hashtag Super Agenda, you're only dealing with one artist. Convenient, right? And with the understanding that the artist would deliver. Okay. Now, so we decided, even if it might work, it's not like we can do it immediately. We had to like discuss it some more, and we had the impression that any pension fund can do it, right, with any artist that they want, and that's why we decided to keep it a secret, and we discussed some more. For example, the Me Too mentality, right? If for example he has coffee with, and we convince the 3 other pension funds to do this with me, right? So there'd be 4 of them. That's a group, they're ganging up on me, right? It might trend, and the 5th, 6th, 7th, and everyone else might want to do the same thing, especially if the first 4 are able to raise money that way. The others might want to do this as well, right? But I have to be as scarce as possible, so that means I'm gonna teach everyone to fish and look for their own artists, and I have to be my own scarce property, right? And so my friend needed his votes, and I needed my credibility, right? Which is already, like I'm already in, right? But I need we needed to discuss it some more, and unfortunately, my friend passed away, and he took the secret to his grave, and I still have my secret, right? And I'm sharing this with you now. Okay. The reason is, I now have 5. Part of my Memoirs of a Nerd series are 5 books. I have 5 memoirs, and memoirs of sorts, and I will have 5 more over the next 3 years. And I'm confident to be sharing this with you now, because I've qualified myself. I've made myself to pass through the eye of a needle, and I've passed through it, and I'm ready to do the next step, which is to make art. Okay, so I'm the one who, I'm the 3rd grader. Let's say we're all 3rd graders. All of us were given like special assignments for bonus points, and for the weekend, and then come Monday, I'm the one with the assignment that everyone can copy. Okay, so that's how I see it. Okay, now I basically told you the idea, but let's make it realistic some more. Okay, more realistic. So here's the thing. I can increase incrementally, or I can increase exponentially. See, so my suggestion for myself is to increase exponentially, because in 16 steps, if I went incrementally by 1, I can go from 1 to 16 in 16 steps. But if I exponentially increase by a factor of 2, I can go from 1 all the way to 32,768. That's 32,768x from my original first price. Okay, and so that's, if you want to convert that into percentage, it's 3,276,800%. That's more than twice, or more than 3,000%, or 200%, or whatever that everyone's been discussing right now. You can do this with art. And what I'm saying here is, if you want to do this with as many people as possible, to be safe, right? You concentrate and gang up on the first artist that is proposing this, and then later on, if it trends, then everyone else can follow. And this is why I have hashtag Vasaber Agenda, so everyone else can say hashtag Vasaber Agenda. I'm an artist, or I'm an investor, or I want to resell works, or etc. And you can form groups in your areas or the rest of the world, right? But right now, for everyone's safety, because there's an urgency right now to raise billions of dollars for all these crypto companies and NFT companies that might declare bankruptcy. I think you're better off ganging up on me first. Okay, so that's my thing, right? So why would I go 16x when I can go 32,000x? Okay, now let's make this a little more realistic. Now this is the transition, okay, so I can explain this a little better, but this is not what I'm following, okay. So I want to start, initially I was thinking I would have 375, a quantity of 375 per price point, okay. And then, now imagine this, if you if you got my works at 25.6, for example, one work, right? You are rest assured that the next price point would be 51.2. You know, so you can easily wait for that next price point, and and be able to tell your company, your public, your investors, your partners, that the investment just doubled as soon as the artist, like me, for example, makes an announcement that the next price point has been reached. See, so now we're trying to reach 409.6. The reason is we're gonna go past Da Vinci, right? Da Vinci's price. Why? Because if I praise myself here, then I wouldn't have enough confidence to get to here, right? So we're playing with this number instead of this. See? So we're entertaining 409.6, not 204.8. Okay. And besides, this is the 21st century. And everyone's desperate to find the solution to raise money as much as possible, and we're going to play with this. Okay. Now, also, if you can understand math, right? My mathematics here. If we do this at 204.8 and not 409, I'm gonna have to work double time just to match what you need. Okay, so let's say you need 50,000, and see that at 409, I'd be at 204, I'd be making a certain quantity, and then in order for you to reach, if our price is 409.6, I would only be making half of what I would be making at 204. Okay, if you understand what I'm talking about. Okay, but let's proceed. Okay, because this is my initial thing until 2 weeks ago when FTX all of a sudden started to unravel, and a lot of other companies turns out are in the red, and they need help, right? And people are taking their money out of your exchanges. And my suggestion is, if you make an announcement that you're dealing with me, if this trends, right, and you make an announcement that you're dealing with me, you're gonna have people coming back to your exchange. You understand me? Imagine this. Okay, there's 20,000 cryptocurrencies right now. I cannot satisfy all of them. Okay, but if you just came out yesterday, if your cryptocurrency just got birthed yesterday, and all of a sudden you go like, hey, you know what? We have Val's art, and we're using them as hedge, as an underlying asset for our crypto. You're gonna have a higher cryptocurrency price. You're gonna. I can see this. Like it just might spike faster than everyone else. Okay, and the reason is, if I trend, then your cryptocurrency would trend if you get my works, right? So there is a sense of urgency, and if you feel like you don't want to miss out on this, then by all means, show up in Chicago, find where I live, and then show up. I think it's funny, because if I open my door, I go like, oh my God, there's all these crowds outside. That would be so funny. Okay, now let's make this a little more realistic for now. So you can borrow as many as much as you can as soon as you can. Okay, or you can evaluate your put in your financial statements the highest value as soon as you can. Okay, so I've redone my idea, and this only happened like 2 weeks ago. Okay, because things started to unravel, and then everyone seems to be a little more desperate than before, right? So let's. But I have to be. Just remember, I have to be as reasonable as possible. Okay, so here's what I'm proposing. Finally, as you can see, we're sticking to the prices here, right? But imagine this: if you total each and every one, you get one piece each priced at, like at this, and this, and this, and this, all the way to 204.8. Okay, I call this one chunk. Okay, you have to get a chunk of 15 items from me, priced at the total of 409.587, 5875. Is that right? Okay. Anyway, I'll give you a discount. get 15 chunks from me for the price of 400 million bucks. Okay. But there's more. Okay. Instead of 15, I'll give you 18. Okay. So my suggestion is you're gonna have 18 at the price of 400 total. Okay. 400 million bucks. If I sell 400 chunks, then the next price is reached. So we're not using 375 as I showed you earlier. We're going to use 400, okay? And the next price would be 409.6, okay? Officially, okay? Now I can still change my mind if I sell less chunks, then that's okay. I would still make an announcement that the next price has been reached, okay? Because I reserve that that right, okay, to change my mind, okay? So here's the thing. Look at that. So 18 times 409.6 equals 7,372,800,000. That's the thing. That's a number you can put in your financial statements. Okay. So if you need $50 billion, then by all means get 8 chunks. Okay, not 7, because 7 times 7 would be 49, right? So get 8. Get rid of as many as you can, get your money back, and then whatever is left, you probably will have $50 billion. Okay. So, like I said, this is like a black swan event because it's been staring at you all along. You just don't know who's gonna do it, and I'm doing it right now. See, now there is no way I can retrace, go back to this thing. This is only gonna happen once. See. Now the next thing that can happen, as long as if this trends and we succeed, right, and I'm able to deliver, look at that. So I'm gonna start. I hate to say this because I do have a like what do you call that? Like a white knight mentality, maybe. What I'm saying here is I'll come up with ways later to help out people who cannot afford me. At this price, see. So I'll be an NFT eventually, and then help to distribute my money, right? Now here's the thing with NFTs. Okay, my little suggestion. Right now, what you're entertaining with NFT exchanges is the source of the art, right? It can be the artist or the art collective. And then traders, investors, and collectors, right? But what happened to us in 2020 and 2021, and even now 2022? A lot of businesses have been closing, and it would have been nice for me to, if I can distribute all this money to as many as like 1,000 coffee shops, individuals who need help, and businesses, etc. That would be nice, right? All the way to like other businesses like car manufacturing companies, and even like airlines and theaters like AMC, for example. Art could have helped, and my art could have helped big time if only the NFTs would have the option of, for example, like allowing 1,000 cafes, for example, to register, and then I'll have them to be listed so I can share my earnings, my sales, right, together with my commissions, with as many as I want, right? So now here's something else. If, for example, I'm helping like 1,000 cafes, but I have 5 favorites that are my neighbors, right, who the places I go to the most, right, then I should be able to assign weights to them, right? So that, or percentages, so that certain people in businesses and institutions that I'm helping would get more, because I prefer for them to get more than the rest that I'm helping as well. Now imagine this: if I'm one single artist, right, and I trended this way, right, and I have 1,000 cafes, that's 1,000 new accounts in the cryptocurrency world, okay? And that's how we. So I'm the bait, right? We artists can be the bait for others to participate in the cryptocurrency world, and open their accounts, because obviously if I'm sharing my money, it has to be automatically be shared with them, by way of the NFT exchange. Okay. Now here's something else. Even if I issue out 10,000 works, right, and NFTs, if I want to assign like 5 works exclusive to one gallery, for example, that should also be possible. So that way, the gallery would have the opportunity to represent me exclusively, while being represented by the NFT exchange, and while even me helping everyone else. See? So they can have like 5 NFTs that they can promote in their galleries, right? And this is like me returning to the galleries as well, because I used to hang out at the galleries in more than 10 years ago, and they got to know me, and they gave me an informal designation. I'm a friend of the galleries, the Gallery Association, Art Dealers Association here in Chicago. They gave me a designation. They said I'm a friend of the gallery. That's quote unquote a friend of the gallery. That means they can't kick me out. They have to be nice. But they asked me one time, Val, we all know you. We know you've written memoirs, and how come none of us are representing you? And I told them a joke, and it's not really a joke. I felt in my heart, this is my futurist thing. I said, one of these days, all of you are going to be representing me. I'm trying to solve that puzzle, but eventually I'll solve that, and all of you are going to be representing me. And so this is me as well, like returning to pension. I used to work in pension, and I want to return as an artist. So I'm hoping for pension funds to get my art, because it's important. Now let me show you this. Okay. This is my version of life expectancy. The longest running life expectancies would be with pensions and governments. Okay, they would outlast my life. Okay, but when it comes to new investors, including whales and new investors and cryptocurrencies and exchanges, you just came in like later, and you can still rug pull people, right? But if you get my art, then you just might be able to raise the money you need, in many ways, right? For example, if I trend, like I told you, and you make an announcement that you're getting my art, your prices might go up. Okay? Now, small businesses, galleries, galleries, I've seen galleries, come and go, and nonprofits, older investors, etc., hedge funds, they can come and go as well. But big businesses last a lot longer. But when it comes to pensions and governments, I would be I would consider myself to be like, to be anchored well, if pension funds and governments like El Salvador gets my art and keeps them and only uses them as a way to borrow money from their asset, that would be good. Okay. So that's me, and this is my presentation. And once again, I feel like I should share this with you on the weekend of Thanksgiving, because come Monday, you might be talking to your board, and saying, and worried about, like bankruptcy and whatever. And you're trying to raise money that nobody wants to lend to you. What I'm showing you here is a way for you to make money off of art. See, so get your pen, paper, and calculator. And how much do you need? Tell me. Now here's the way to get in touch with me. Okay. I'm on Facebook as Val Zubiri, and my image is a white doll on the left, and on the right is a coffee mug from Nightmare Before Christmas. It's Jack Skellington pointing to me, right? Now, make sure that you don't get scammed. I have hundreds of followers and friends, right? So make sure you friend me, and then we'll FaceTime. We'll talk on Messenger. We'll video call each other. You'll see my face, and then I'll let you know where you can meet me, right? But I was hoping, like, I was thinking, like, if you're really, really desperate for billions of dollars, and and you can't get in touch with me, just find a way to find out where I live, and come to Chicago. What's the big deal? It's only a few billions. Like, you're supposed to be saving your company, right? And so yeah, show up. If you can't show up, if you're sick or whatever, you're busy, send your secretary or your other members, right? And we'll come up with something, right? But once again, I think I should I should limit myself to 400 chunks. Okay. Look at the numbers here. Capture this screen if you need to, and good luck. And it's Thanksgiving. It's now these holidays. We just passed Thanksgiving. Before that, it was Halloween, Dia de los Muertos, and All Saints Day, All Souls Day. And then now we're coming up with Christmas, Hanukkah, and Kwanzaa, and then there's going to be New Year's. You've probably been asked, how much money did you lose, with your cryptocurrency investments and whatever, or how much clients are you going to be declaring bankruptcy and whatever. This is a way for you to not declare bankruptcy, right? And if you can't afford me right now, let's find a way to. I have ideas. I have more ideas. I'm just not sharing them with you now, but I'm going to be able to share with my art and my possibilities with as many people as I can. But right now, I think I just have to concentrate on the ones who are desperate to save their companies. And okay, that's why I'm here. So friend me on Facebook. We'll instant messenger each other. We'll use video call. You'll see my stupid face, and you'll be talking to the right person, right? And I need for you to be patient. My art is yet to be made sight unseen. You're gonna have to trust me on that. I know what I'm doing, and I know what to do. And I'll have, I'll justify, like gold, silver, platinum, palladium, diamonds, and whatever, and other gemstones into the works. And I'll make sure that everyone is comparable and competitive with each other. And you're rest assured, I will continue to store my works, be my own storage space, my own warehouse, my own vaults. And you can trade as best you can, and then once you're decided to keep my works, then I'll send it to you. But you have to be patient, because my art takes time. Okay, but here's the thing. Okay, my art lends itself to the opportunity of collaborating with other people. Okay, I would go that far. Some of them are skilled, some of them are famous, some of them are both skilled and famous, and I have. We're gonna entertain that. So there's plenty of room, to work with, and you're gonna be working with me. And if you want, you can supervise, what's going on with the art that you're expected to get. Okay. So thanks, I appreciate it, and we'll see each other, and hopefully you don't declare bankruptcy. Save your customers, save your clients, and save your clients' money. That's very important. That's why I'm here, and I'm here to help you, hopefully to raise as much money as you need. Okay, thanks. There's something I may have forgotten to tell you, and I need to insert this. The futurist part. Okay, remember when I was telling you that me and my friend, the elected official who's in charge of the $1 billion pension fund, we were saying it can be duplicated, right? So eventually, I've always been worried about that. And when I came out, like I told you, like in 2012, I issued I released my first book, right? And then I released 3 more books in 2014. So I decided in 2014 that I need to stake a claim on my idea, right? And what I did was I came out with a special editions, my regular edition of the 4 books, and then special edition of the 4 books, right? And the special edition is a little more expensive. You'll see it online, and I added to the title with banker's secret insert or something like that. What I did was I added 2 pages of an explanation of the exponentially increasing pricing and writing the importance of writing memoirs. And even then, with the 4 memoirs, I said I had the most artist memoirs, and this is why I'm working on it, right? And so I put in a 2-page insert. And the importance of the books is that they have a copyright date, a release date, which is 2014, and that's why I put in the explanation. Then 4 years later, I made the decision to finally write about Valsuber agenda. And something else in 2014 that I did was issue a press release, and the press release is dated August 19, 2014. So if you Google Valentino Zubiri, billion-dollar artist, PR Web, PRWEB, public relations, PRWEB, just one word. And then August 19, 2014, you'll see an extended explanation of one of the 2-page insert, that I have. I'm doing all this to become a good investment opportunity for companies. And so that's what I did. There's a saying, staking a claim on your idea, and I staked a claim on my idea. It was many, many years later in 2014, and I'm just glad I did that. And I rest assured myself, that if anyone claims this idea to be theirs, there's a stamp. And then finally, like in 2018, I finally wrote about the entire thing. Okay. And that's why I'm letting everyone use hashtag #ValSuperAgenda, because I gave myself no more choice to rename it or whatever, because I wrote a book entitled ValSuperAgenda.